Test driving a new car can be pretty daunting, especially if you're unsure what it is you're supposed to be looking for. And in all your enthusiasm in driving a test vehicle, you can actually forget to take in all the features, or even some of the most basic ones. And that's why we've put this video together, to help you get the most out of test driving a new car. So, if you haven't already identified the model, trim and engine you're after, you can do so on our website by clicking here. But let's say for argument's sake it's a Renault Kadjar Signature Nav 1.6 litre diesel. Here are 10 tips to help you overcome being driven to distraction and make you an expert on test driving new cars. Number 1, be prepared. Very simple, but massively important. Before you get behind the wheel, make sure that you're actually insured to drive the car, and also make sure that you ring up beforehand and book an appointment with the dealer and arrive early. Number 2, does it check out? Now, if you've done your research and chosen the model you want to test, then make sure the model that you're testing is representative. And of course, you can always double check this with your dealer. Testing a slightly different model can still be very useful, but you need to be made aware of the differences. Number 3, get comfortable. The correct seating position is super important, not only from a comfort point of view, but also from a safety one. Your wrists should be able to just sit on top of the steering wheel. Your legs should have a slight bend in it when the clutch is pressed all the way down. You should adjust your mirrors accordingly, and you should also make sure that you're familiar with all the vital controls. And while you're at it, you can even sit in the other seat before you drive off. Or if you're with a partner or friend, you can be a passenger for a while as well as the driver. Number 4, go somewhere familiar. If you can, take your test drive on a familiar route. Not only will this help you identify places to test the handling and the suspension, but it'll also mean that you can fully focus on the car and not where you're going. This will also help if you're taking a long test drive and you need to estimate how long you're going to be on a certain route. Number 5, engine and economy. If possible, test the car from a cold start so that you'll be aware if the engine takes a while to limber up. Next, you'll want to see if there's enough power for what you're after. So if it's a city car you're after, you'll basically just want the car to be able to get you from A to B. But if it's a family car or a motorway cruiser, then you want a bit more versatility and the ability to easily and safely overtake. And there's a really useful tip. As you set off, make sure that you reset the car's trip computer so you can make note at the end of the test drive at what MPG figure you've been getting. Number 6, steering and brakes. Regardless of sportiness, you still want to be able to understand what the car's doing. And you may have heard the expression, feel what the front wheels are doing, and just dismissed it as driver speak, but that's exactly right. If you turn the wheel and can't quite understand where the car's going to end up on the road, then that can be a problem. Overly light or heavy steering or overly sharp or heavy brakes can also affect comfort. And also, make sure you test the turning circle of the car, especially if you live in a tight cul-de-sac. Number 7, suspension. The usual rule of thumb is the sportier the car, the firmer the suspension. But the main thing you need to concern yourself with is how composed the car is over bumps. Does it shudder or bounce when you hit a pothole? If it does, then this could have a detrimental effect on your comfort and your passenger's comfort. Number 8, noise. This section leads on nicely from the suspension, and all you really need to do here is listen. Is there any excessive wind noise, tyre noise, or thumps when you go over bumps in the road? And this will obviously need to be tested at different speeds, whether that's around town or on the open road, as this can make a big difference. Nobody likes to spend time in a car that's unpleasant or tiring to spend time in. And also, you want to make sure that your radio is turned down or off, because, well, you can't really hear anything if you've got your radio blasting. Number 9, gearboxes. Manual and automatic gearboxes are very different, but regardless of which one you go for, you're going to be looking for smooth, precise gear changes. If it's an automatic, you want to make sure there's no hesitation as you set off and go through the gears, or if it jerks as you slow down. Number 10, practicality. Last but not least, you'll want to see if the car is fit for purpose, practicality-wise. And you'll want to check the size of the boot, see if it's big enough for your everyday use. You'll also want to see how high the loading lip is. And when it comes to passengers, you'll want to see how much leg and headroom's in the back, and if you've got young children, whether there are ISOFIX anchors. This list is by no means definitive, but hopefully it'll give you some vital pointers for when it comes to getting toe-to-toe with the dealer on the forecourt. And there's another little tip. If you're planning on test driving, say, 2 or 3 different models, take a pen and pad with you so that you can note down things about each model at the end and compare. Don't forget, if you're after a new car, then before you do anything else, go to carkeys.co.uk for great deals and advice, and of course, our own test drive videos.